Hi, it's Ginger. I wanted to share with you a flip through of a book I finished for a swap I was in. My cover was inspired by a book Betty Calkins made, and she made a tree by using rolled up paper and real branches, and that's what I tried to create as well. So these are all rolled up paper bags, and I used some real branches off of some of our trees, highlighted with some white paint. Created some tree roots down here and some grassy, mossy accents. Um, this is a resin piece of moon faces that I painted and waxed. And the background, I used my distress inks and created like a night scene with a glow behind the moon. And then I stenciled using Paste the Stars. And so that's the front of my book. My spine has a piece of birch bark that I dried, and I wrapped some of my tree branches around. And then the back, I used a Prima stencil and stenciled like a wood grain and used my distress inks. And this is a pretty chunky book. It's got 5 signatures sewed in. And let's walk through. So all my signatures, the covers of my signatures are made out of manila envelopes and then covered. Some distress inks. I used some Delusion stamps on that page. The bag to put some ephemera in. A little tuck spot with some tags and journaling. Some graph paper. The lady I'm sending to likes watercolor, so I incorporated some watercolor pages. Little library tag. This is some Seven Gypsies vellum. And I watercolored a leaf background stamp I had. Some journal paper. I used a piece of pattern paper in each signature of the book. I actually printed this one out on a parchment paper so she can journal on the back. This is a tag I made that I glued down for a tuck spot. This is a Delusions journal paper. Little book page. It's a Seven Gypsy folder. And these are some envelopes that I had printed out on the parchment paper, creating some tuck spots. The back side of the folder. Used a Tim Holtz journal stamp on a tag. Some ledger paper. And the back side of that pattern. Some journal paper. This is the watercolor with some distress inks and the leaf stamp again. The vellum. I used the Tim Holtz tree ring die and created a tuck spot. This is a night scene that I just used with my distress inks that she could journal on the here on the bottom. The Tim Holtz, I can't remember the name. But it's a Tim Holtz die, and I put a moon image in the back side of the bag. And that's the first signature. Here's the second signature. More Delusion stamps. Little tuck spot with a tag. More of that leaf stamp. Journal paper. This was an old receipt. That's the Delusions paper again. Here's a little envelope with a tuck spot. Some journaling paper. More of that Seven Gypsies. This is another Seven Gypsies folder. Some ledger paper. This here is a leaf that come off of one of my trees that I used the UT and preserved it. In a little glassine bag. A little journal paper. Some more vellum paper. Watercolor. Another, each signature I put one of these envelopes in. Journal spot. This on the Delusions paper, I used my Delusion spray inks. That receipt is from 1937. Little tuck spot. Here's some wood grain. And that's the second signature. And here's the third. I used a lot of files that I have bought off of Etsy that I printed out. Here's some Delusion stamps. Journal paper. Little parchment money. She can journal on the back. Another tag. Here's watercolor paper. Another Seven Gypsies folder. And there's even spots in here, you know, she can use it for journaling, but she can also add some photographs. This is a vellum Seven Gypsies paper in the envelope. This was a Tim Holtz film strip die. And I did some jelly printing. On this Delusions folder, I used my Delusions paint pens and created that. Piece of vellum. I love that. I love that print. And that's the third. Here's the fourth signature. Some more paper that I printed on parchment paper. The ledger. Delusion stamps. Another Seven Gypsies folder. Some journaling. Another receipt. A Delusions page. the lady I'm sending to loves the moon and stars, and there was a article in our local paper about the Air and Space Museum reopening, so I clipped that out. Some graph paper, little luggage tag for a tuck spot, and an envelope. Some vellum, watercolor paper, some book page. I love these little glassine bags to put little tags and ephemera in. And the envelope. The book page. Used that wood green. It's actually a ribbon, but it's very realistic. Used that for a tuck spot. And there's the back of that article about the Air and Space Museum. Another page, the Delusions page I used with the inks. The Seven Gypsies folder. And I distress sprayed the inside of each signature manila folder. And this is the final signature. Another receipt. It's a little telegram tuck spot. Another Seven Gypsies folder. Delusion stamps. Some journaling. Another vellum. That vellum is so beautiful. Some tags and some ledger paper. These are some Kodak negatives. In the envelope. And I made this little book using the Tim Holtz composition stamp set. It says, "And the story begins," with some printed journaling paper. That's a big tag on that page. Lots of room for journaling. And then that's the back of the last signature. Thanks for watching.